नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरि यत्कृपातं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्. Okay, I request Vani Mataji that you can unmute yourself and you can start.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Ata Chaturto Dhyayaha. Shri Bhagavanuvacha. Imam Vivasvate Yogam. Proktavanahamavyayam. Vivasvan Manave Praha. Manurikshvakave Bravit. एवं परंपरा प्राप्तम् इमं राजर्षयो विदुः सकाले नेह महता योगो नष्टः परन्तप स एवायं मया तेद्य योगः प्रोक्तः पुरातनः भक्तोऽसि मे सखा चेति रहस्यं ह्येतदुत्तमम् अर्जुन उवाच अपरं भवतो जन्म परं जन्म विवस्वतः कथमेतद्विजानीयाम् त्वमादौ प्रोक्तवानिति श्रीभगवानुवाच बहूनि मे व्यतीतानि जन्मानि तव चार्जुन तान्यहं वेद सर्वाणि न त्वं वेत्त परन्तप अजोऽपि सन्नव्ययात्मा भूतानामीश्वरोऽपि सन् प्रकृतिं स्वामधिष्ठाय सम्भवाम्यात्ममायया यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानमधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन वीतरागभयक्रोधाः मन्मया मामुपाश्रिताः बहवो ज्ञानतपसा पूता मद्भावमागताः ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तांस्तथैव भजाम्यहम् मम वर्त्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः काङ्क्षतः कर्मणां सिद्धिः यजन्त इह देवताः क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा चातुर्वर्ण्यं मया सृष्टं गुणकर्म विभागशः तस्य कर्तारमपि मां विद्य कर्तारमव्ययम् न मां कर्माणि लिम्पन्ति न मे कर्मफले स्पृहा इति मां यो विजानाति कर्मभिर्न स बध्यते एवं ज्ञात्वा कृतं कर्म पूर्वैरपि मुमुक्षुभिः कुरु कर्म्यैव तस्मात् त्वं पूर्वैः पूर्वतरं कृतं किं कर्म किमकर्मेति कवयोऽप्यत्र मोहिताः तत्ते कर्म प्रवक्ष्यामि यज्ञात्वा मोक्षसे शुभात् कर्मणो ह्यपि बोद्धव्यं च विकर्मणः अकर्मणश्च बोद्धव्यं गहना कर्मणो गतिः कर्मण्यकर्म यः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्म यः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स युक्तः कृत्स्नकर्मकृत् यस्य सर्वे समारम्भाः कामसङ्कल्पवर्जिताः ज्ञानाग्निदग्धकर्माणं तमाहुः पण्डितं बुधाः त्यक्त्वा कर्मफलासङ्गं नित्यतृप्तो निराश्रयः कर्मण्यभिप्रवृत्तोऽपि नैव किञ्चित् करोति सः निराशीर्यत चित्तात्मा त्यक्त सर्वपरिग्रहः शारीरं केवलं कर्म कुर्वन्नाप्नोति किल्बिषम् यदृच्छालाभसन्तुष्टः द्वन्द्वातीतो विमत्सरः समसिद्धावसिद्धौ च कृत्वापि न निबध्यते गतसङ्गस्य मुक्तस्य ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः यज्ञायाचरतः कर्म समग्रं प्रविलीयते ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महविः ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्म कर्म समाधिना दैवमेवापरे यज्ञं योगिनः पर्युपासते ब्रह्माज्ञावपरे यज्ञं यज्ञेनैवोपजुह्वति श्रोत्रादीनीन्द्रियाण्यन्ये संयमाग्निषु जुह्वति शब्दादीन् विषयानन्ये इन्द्रियाग्निषु जुह्वति सर्वाणीन्द्रियकर्माणि प्राणकर्माणि चापरे आत्मसंयमयोगाग्नौ जुह्वति ज्ञानदीपिते द्रव्ययज्ञास्तपो यज्ञाः योगयज्ञास्तथा परे स्वाध्यायज्ञानयज्ञाश्च यतयः संशितव्रताः अपाने जुह्वति प्राणं प्राणे पानं तथा परे प्राणापानगतिरुद्ध्वा प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे नियताहाराः प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति सर्वेऽप्येते यज्ञविदः यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः यज्ञशिष्टामृतभुजः यान्ति ब्रह्म सनातनम् नायं लोकोऽस्य यज्ञस्य कुतोऽन्यः कुरु सत्तमा एवं बहुविधा यज्ञाः वितता ब्रह्मणो मुखे कर्मजान् विद्धि तान् सर्वान् एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे श्रेयान् द्रव्यमयाद्रज्ञान् ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तप सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति ते ज्ञानम् ज्ञानिनस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः यज्ञात्वा न पुनर्मोहम् एवं यास्यसि पाण्डव येन भूतान्यशेषेण द्रक्ष्यस्यात्मन्यतो मयि अपि चेदसि पापेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः पापकृत्तमः सर्वं ज्ञानप्लवेनैव वृजिनं सन्तरिष्यसि यथैधांसि समिद्धोऽग्निः भस्मसात् कुरुतेऽर्जुन ज्ञानाग्निः सर्वकर्माणि भस्मसात् कुरुते तथा न हि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रमिह विद्यते तत्स्वयं योगसंसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दति श्रद्धावान् लभते ज्ञानं तत्परः संयतेन्द्रियः ज्ञानं लब्ध्वा परां शान्तिम् अचिरेणाधिगच्छति अज्ञश्च श्रद्धधानश्च संशयात्मा विनश्यति नायं लोकोऽस्ति न परः न सुखं संशयात्मनः योगसन्न्यस्तकर्माणं ज्ञानसञ्चिन्न संशयम् आत्मवन्तं न कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय तस्मादज्ञानसम्भूतं हृत्स्थं ज्ञानासिनात्मनः चित्वैनं संशयं योगम् आतिष्ठोत्तिष्ठ भारत ॐ तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे ज्ञानकर्मसन्न्यासयोगो नाम चतुर्थोऽध्यायः। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So it's really nice to have Mataji again and again, from September, I guess. So Mataji has been very active. Very nice, Mataji. Very nice to see your consistency. Let us pray for Mataji and her entire family that they advance very, very fast in Krishna consciousness and attain Krishna this very lifetime. Let's chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for her. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Mataji. And keep chanting the shlokas as many times as possible every Thursday. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So let's start with the Q&A session. It's very nice to be back with all of you all again. It's my honor and privilege, to answer your questions. In fact, this seva which is there is a very absorbing seva, where I speak or where we get to speak Krishna Katha, where we get to answer the questions from Bhagavad-Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So the credit goes to you all because you all engage us in the service of the lordships. So thank you very much. I request all of you all, if you have any questions, please go ahead and post. Any questions from anywhere is okay. No, need not be just from the previous session or something. So let me start taking the questions now. Okay. Avishikta Mataji, she's asking, I want to chant like Mataji, how to learn to chant like her. Vani Shekhar Mataji, your fan is here. um, when it comes to chanting of the shlokas, what we have to do is first we need to understand how to pronounce the shloka. That is very, very important. We need to understand when there is a dot below S, when there is a dot below N, how to pronounce those. I think this we had covered in the first Q&A session, if I'm not wrong. So you can go through that and you will find it how to do it. And along with that, we have to keep hearing the shlokas again and again. So you can maybe ask your mentor. Your mentor might send will send you the already recorded shlokas from various devotees, which are available on internet. Keep hearing that again and again. It's almost like materially we keep hearing songs, isn't it? And we just keep hearing songs and keep hearing and hearing and hearing, and then we get it, and the person starts singing. Maybe even while walking, while taking a bath, the person starts singing. Similarly, when we chant the Bhagavad Gita or hear the Bhagavad Gita shlokas more often, this is what will happen. We will be able to chant anywhere and everywhere. And we'll understand the pronunciation. That's the most important thing. So thank you very much for the question. I hope this helps others also. And you can ask your mentor to send you the video link of the Bhagavad Gita shlokas so that you can learn. Let me take the next question. Loknath Prabhu, Hare Krishna. Although Lord Buddha is the incarnation of Lord Krishna, Lord Buddha could have initiated Bhagavad Gita that time itself, as Bhagavad Gita is coming from Lord Krishna directly. Any strong reason? As Kaliyuga has completed only 5,000 plus years, will there be some more philosophies coming in this age, in this Kaliyuga? Okay, let me answer your first part. So part one is Lord Buddha could have given Bhagavad Gita, not at that time itself. We need to understand that to receive transcendental knowledge, we need to have qualification. It's not that we'll just get this transcendental knowledge just like that without any qualification. Whenever we used to start the session, I used to always tell all of you all that you all are very, very fortunate. Why? Because this opportunity of hearing Bhagavad Gita, hearing Krishna Katha is very, very rare. For us in India, it might be okay, everywhere it's happening, we can hear. But then when it comes to the entire planet, not just entire planet, in all the 14 planetary systems, this is considered as the very, very rare jewel that we get. That is hearing Krishna Katha, hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And that needs qualification. Somehow by the mercy of the Lord, Lord has bestowed his mercy on us and we have got some qualification to hear Bhagavad Gita. It's sheer mercy of the Lord. Otherwise, we have no qualification. So this is the qualification is needed to hear Bhagavad Gita. Anyone and everyone, even if they hear, why to talk about Gautam Buddha's time? Let's talk now. There are so many people all around the world, and they get to hear the Bhagavad Gita. There are people who have done PhD on Bhagavad Gita, but they're not devotees. They're not following Bhagavad Gita. They just memorize some shlokas and they are just written some thesis or something and they've done PhD on it. Once one person came to Srila Prabhupada and he said, Prabhupada, I can recite entire Bhagavad Gita in 40 minutes. And Prabhupada looked at him and he said, can you live Bhagavad Gita for 40 seconds? And that person couldn't open his mouth after that question which Prabhupada asked. So important is not just hearing Bhagavad Gita, but implementing the same in life. To implement that, one should have qualification. And what is that qualification? Association of devotees, mercy of the Lord. And obviously the inner inclination towards Krishna consciousness, which most of us here, in fact, I would say all of you, have that inclination. So this qualification is needed. Now let's go back to Gautam Buddha's time. In Gautam Buddha's time, people became so materialistic. They were not able to understand what is given in Vedic scriptures. This was the problem. And this is the reason why, or that is the reason why Gautam Buddha didn't feel that these people are qualified. Whatever their qualification was, accordingly, Gautam Buddha has given the philosophy. While they were doing violence, and he gave the philosophy of non-violence. He talked about Satyam. So all these simple things he talked at that time. Like for example, a small kid who is learning 1 plus 1 equal to 2, I cannot ask him, that what is a dx square by dx equal to. I cannot ask him, any quadratic equation, or I cannot ask him anything from calculus or whatever. The person will get bewildered. The child will get bewildered. Similarly, when the Lord descends to this material world, depending on people's capability, the knowledge is given. You see in Bhagavad-Gita, throughout 700 shlokas, nowhere Krishna is coming down to a very, very low level. Everywhere, he's at the highest platform and talking about something very, very high, transcendental. He's not talking about small, small things here and there. He's talking about really great things, which a qualified person like Arjuna understood. And again, there also Krishna says, why am I telling you Bhagavad Gita, oh Arjuna? Bhakto si me sakha cheti. He says, because you're my devotee, you're my friend, so you're qualified, so I'm giving you Bhagavad Gita. So qualification is needed, and at that time they didn't have qualification to receive Bhagavad Gita. And will there be more philosophies coming in Kaliyuga? So philosophies are given by great personalities. It's not any Tom, Dick, and Harry can give philosophy. Obviously, nowadays anyone and everyone who has mouth, have started speaking philosophy, their own philosophy. But then that's not bona fide, and that such philosophies will not take anywhere. In fact, there are some dumb people who will subscribe to the philosophies of modern age also. They don't understand the difference between the bona fide philosophy and the bogus philosophy. So bona fide philosophies are given by the great personalities whose mention is already given in Shastra, in Vedic scriptures. So now when it comes to the next great personality who is going to come up is Lord Kalki, Krishna incarnating in this age of Kali Yuga, at the end of Kali Yuga. So before that, there is no mention as such. Now that is given. So bona fide philosophies, not sure. If we'll have more philosophy, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given the highest philosophy, Achintya Bheda Bhed, and how to attain Krishna this very lifetime. He has given the philosophy. So now, if any philosophy that is coming up will be a bogus philosophy, because there are only 4 sampradayas, and already the 4 sampradayas philosophy is clear. But then now, if any other philosophy is coming, and their mention is not there in Shastra, it means it's not a bona fide philosophy. It cannot be accepted as a bona fide philosophy. To answer your question, will there be more philosophies in Kali Yuga? Will there be more bona fide philosophies in Kali Yuga? No, because already whatever is supposed to be given, it is already given to us. Okay, Shobha Bhatnagar Mataji is asking this question. In level 1 karma session, you said if we appreciate a person 80% of time only, then we have the right to correct the person. Does this apply on parents too? Yes, in that session, I made it very clear that I'm speaking for parents. You can go back and watch. So it's very, very important that parents understand this aspect of appreciation. I've met many parents, and they chastise them in public. They chastise the kid in public. And then after the chastisement, when I ask that, why did you do this in public? The parent has the mood that he learned the lesson. No, this is not the way to teach the lesson. Be it a small child or be it an elderly person, everyone has their own ego. Everyone has their own self-respect. So we have to respect their self-respect. That is very, very important, even for a small kid. So chastisement in private and glorification in public. Everyone needs to follow this, especially parents. I repeat, chastisement in private and glorification in public. And that glorification should be, yes, 80% of the time, the glorification should be there. That is very, very important. At times, I see that our participants or the members of our group, I see sometimes the Matajis, they are complaining about their husbands in public or insulting the husband in public. So this is nonsense. This has to be understood very clearly. See, maturity means to understand this point: where to speak, what to speak, when to speak. Unfortunately, this is something which people don't understand. We don't want to keep our mouth shut. We don't know how to put zip to the mouth at some place at some time in front of some person. We don't know. It's always open. It's always open, and we speak all sorts of nonsense, even when it is not needed. Hmm. So one thing we have to understand is that in public, when we glorify a person who is dear to our heart, our bond with that person will become strong. Hmm. Not fake glorification. Fake glorification is again insult. Like for example, you might be chanting one round, and then you have come to Gita course, and then I'm sitting on the Vyasasana, and there are like 100 people sitting, and then in the mic I'm saying, oh, this who is this? The Shobha Mataji, she started chanting 16 rounds every single day. Hmm. And then you might be looking at my face saying, what's wrong with this person? I'm not chanting 16 rounds. So at that time, we will not be happy. We'll get insulted. Similarly, when we're glorifying our near and dear ones, we should speak the truth. I mean, truly glorify. That is very important. And only when we glorify them 80% of the time, we have the right to chastise 20% of the time. Why is it said so? Because only at that point, our chastisement will be valued, or else it will be taken for granted. Many times this is seen. Even now, I'm seeing, when I come to give Gita class and our members' kids are around, parents are shouting, come here, what are you doing there? Don't do this, don't do that. And the child is like looking at the parent and doing whatever the child wants to do. Why? Taking for granted. Why they're taking it for granted? We take things for granted when they are very, very much frequent in their occurrence. Like, for example, many people take our Gita course for granted because it's there every Sunday. TK will see it later. What's the problem? Yes. Similarly, when a mother or father is chastising every now and then, the child is like, अरे ये तो बोलता ही रहेगा, बोलती रहेगी, ठीक है, बोलने दो उनको जो बोलना है. I'll not pay attention to all this. So parents have to earn their own value. That is very, very important in the eyes of the child. And how can that be done? Appreciate the child for whatever good is there in the child, first. Second, no comparison. There's no question of comparison, with your child and others' child. Yes. If you feel others' child is better than your child, it means it's your problem. Your karma is not good. if your karma would have been good, you would have got maybe a better child than that child whom you're glorifying. So it's our karma is not good. It's not the child's problem. Yes. So in this way, we need to understand some points and be very mature when we deal with the child or with anyone, in public. That is very, very important. If we want to build a nice relationship with our child and others, it's very important to glorify them 80% of the time. And this glorification should be a true glorification. Very, very important. And chastisement, then we can do in private. And even if we just look at the person in a grave mood, the person will understand, the child will understand, yes, my parent is not happy. And he will correct himself immediately. But if we are so used to scolding the child every now and then 80% of the time, even if we look at the child with Narsimha avatar also, the child the child will behave like Prahlad at that time. It will not be affected at all. Yes. So hope this answers your question. Yes, we have to glorify, appreciate the child 80% of the time. Then we have the right to scold, to correct the child 20% of the time. Hope this answers your question. After your break, there is no same enthusiasm in bhakti. Feel bored to do daily japa and puja, hoping now I'll be on track. Vinod Mataji, this is not correct. Yes. See, one thing we have to understand that we have to live for others now. Yes. If we have accepted someone as our teacher, now we should live for that person. We need to understand that if I practice every day, that will give bliss, to that person. Let me do it for him. Yes. With this mood, we have to do. So even if the person is not there, maybe physically or whatever, still we'll be able to continue because we want to please that person. And in spirituality, physical distance does not matter. It's all about the connection, the heart to heart connection, the soul to soul connection that matters. And we have already got that connection with each other and with Srila Prabhupada. So, it's very, very important. All of us have to imbibe this quality that I want to please my superior. I want to please Srila Prabhupada. This mood should come. And only for that, we should practice bhakti. Recently, it's a personal discussion with my counselee. So he came to me, and he has come to a very nice spiritual platform. So I was talking to him, and then I was appreciating him that you're doing very nice. It's I'm very happy. He told me a very nice point that day, and that really helped me to implement in my own life. He said that Prabhu, I don't know if I would have come to this level at any point of time. The only reason why I was writing different tests of Krishna consciousness and increasing my rounds, doing services, is only with one reason, with only one goal. I wanted to see smile on your face. I wanted to please you. Only for that reason I was doing, and by that I've reached till this point. And I was like, I was getting goosebumps hearing that. That how much a person gets benefited when he starts pleasing his superior. And I learned a lesson in my own life that I should do that for my superior. That's very, very important. Yes. So if we can do that, then all of us can be fired up all the time, and we will not feel the absence of the person whom we have a connection with. We'll be very much connected, very much connected. Yes. So I pray, Vinut Mataji, that you should be back with full enthusiasm, and your round should also double. Hope you'll do that. Hare Krishna. Really happy to interact with you after a long time. Same here, Lakshmi Mataji. There is so much of poverty. Can poverty be stopped? If yes, then how? In earlier days, there was no poverty, no starvation, no climatic disasters. There were peaceful people, and it was a better world. How, Prabhuji? Earlier years were really peaceful and had no problems. Then why are people telling this age is technologically and economically developed if we have lost almost everything? Based on the proofs and facts you have showed us in the session, The Lost Wealth, I feel we are not that developed. Yes, that's a good realization. We are not developed. We cannot say that we are developed, in any ways, because we have lost the basic values itself. So that is very, very important to understand that what is called as advancement. We need to understand that first. Advancement basically means that the person advances within to a higher consciousness. This we need to understand. That is called as advancement. Now people are saying that we are advancing, we are advancing, we are advancing. Where are we advancing? Consciousness is going down day by day. Oh, people's consciousness is just going down day by day by day. Yes. So this aspect of advancement can be defined very nicely by the advancement of inner consciousness. And that happens only when the person practices Krishna consciousness, practices bhakti, lives the life in accordance to Shastra. Now, talking about the poverty, see, it's very clear that if we live our life according to Shastra, there will be no poverty. In fact, see, what is poverty basically? Poverty is the person is wanting something and he's not getting it. Yes. And why is he not getting it? No, because that is his karma, what to do. He has lived his life like that and he's suffering for the same. So this poverty, unemployment, etc., is obviously one's own karma. But along with that, we need to understand that since we are not following the scriptures, since we are not living a life of mode of goodness, since we are not living our life to please Krishna, it will not happen. No, it will never happen that the person will, this poverty will be removed completely. And previously, what used to happen? Everyone were living in accordance to Shastra. They were giving charity, like Grastas, the householders who are there. They were giving charity, to the Brahmanas, to the sannyasis. They would give charity. The Vaishyas who were there, uh, Grastas means married people. Hope that's clear. Yes, the family holders. They would give charity. And especially the category of Vaishyas. Vaishyas means the business class. Now, they would be giving the charity donation. Like that, the Brahmanas would sustain. The Brahmanas would never work. Brahmanas would just get Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, I mean the devotees who are dedicated their life for Krishna and spreading the knowledge around. They will get the donation and that's how they'll survive. And when it comes to Kshatriyas, what were Kshatriyas doing? Kshatriyas were getting taxes regularly, from the common public. And what was he doing with the tax? He was not putting in his pocket. He used to take the tax and he used to return, to the public, with lot of happiness, and would give them happiness by doing what they want. Very nicely, it is given in Srimad Bhagavatam that when a politician extracts taxes or an administrator extract taxes from the public, and if he is not doing the needful, what happens? That person has to suffer in hell for a very, very long time, because he is taking the karma of people by taking their money. Yes. So Kshatriyas were ruling like that, and then Kshatriyas would protect. What were Kshatriyas doing? They were protecting the entire Krishna consciousness, the cult of bhakti. He would protect, and he would make sure that everyone is practicing bhakti according to their own status of life. That is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Kshatriyas would see if Brahmana is properly following the rules and regulations of Shastra, and he would take recommendation, he would take advice from the Brahmanas what next to do, how to rule, and things like that. And then Vaishyas, they would do their business very nicely and give the tax wholeheartedly. Shudras, they would serve the first three class without thinking much about anything else. He's very chaste to his masters. Now, if we analyze in this Kaliyuga, what is happening? The ones who are supposed to protect the dharma, that is the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. So what is happening? They are not able to give up their entire material life and just dedicate to the mission. Why? Because there is no setup for protection, their material protection. Now they are feeling insecure, to just give up their life and do service to the humanity. And what about the politicians, the administrators? What are they doing? They're extracting taxes, and then we know where it goes, what is happening. Yes, and then the citizens also. They are not in any other class. Most of the people, in fact, almost all of the people, 99%, are Shudra category. Right from the school time, the training is given of Shudra, how to earn money, how to become a slave of others. Now, right from the childhood, that is the training that is given. And after finishing engineering or whatever degree, the person starts searching that who will accept me as a slave, who will accept me as a slave, goes around with a CV, who will accept me as a slave. I'm sorry, I'm using a bit harsh term, but then yes, that's what is the fact. If you properly analyze, that's what has happened. That's what Britishers wanted. That's what they did, right? So, who can be independent? Who can be free from poverty? The one who is practicing bhakti. Tell me, if someone has direct connection with Lakshmipati, very beautifully in Vishnu Sahasranam, that line comes, Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam. This line is very, very beautiful. Lakshmi Kanta, the beloved of Lakshmi, Kamala Nayanam, beautiful eyes. Now just imagine if we get connected to Lakshmi Kanta, that is Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna, why will the person suffer anytime? I mean, even materially for that matter. Even if there are some material problems, the person might not take it very, very seriously, because the inner bliss that he is getting by the connection which he's having with the Lord is satisfied completely, completely satisfied. He's not hankering for anything. So this way we understand that what is lacking now in the current world is the practice of bhakti. People feel practice of bhakti is optional. They don't understand it's mandatory. If we want to live life, we have to practice bhakti. If we just want to exist in this world, then we can do it, because anyways animals are existing. We can become one of them. But if we want to live life, then we have to practice bhakti according to Shastra, not by our own whims. And if this everyone follows in the entire world, there's no question of poverty. There will be no question of crime. There'll be no question of anything negative. it will be only positivity throughout the entire globe. I hope this answers your question. So basically, what we are lacking is bhakti, and all the nonsense. Anyways, we are trying to implement. That is all the gadgets and this and that. So much of problem because of all that. Because one thing comes, and there are people who will use it positively, and there are many people who will use it negatively, for various wrong things. So we need to understand this point that when it comes to advancement, it is not about, I'm repeating my first statement, it's not about how comfortable I am now materially. Before, people would walk long distances. Now, even if they want to go to just nearby shop, just 2 buildings away, they'll take their car or bike. And then what do? Come home and start running on the treadmill. Before, people were fit because they were walking around and they had nice time. But now, they gain weight, obesity, and all that, and then they start running at the same place. And people say that, oh, we are advanced. Why we are running at the same place? I can give a number of examples, but then let me move to the next question now. Hare Krishna. How we may see parenting as a devotional service. Okay, so parenting as a devotional service. Firstly, the parents have to be devotee. That is very important. Not just dicey devotees. They have to be very much fired up devotees, intense devotees. So when they're intense devotees, what happens is their only goal is to attain Krishna. They don't want anything else. Whatever they're doing in their material life will be just a duty. That's it. They're just doing it because they have to do it as a duty. But their only goal is, I want to attain Krishna this very lifetime. No other, I don't want to take chance anymore. With this mood, if a parent is there, then the parent will be able to see the child as the part and parcel of Krishna, husband as the part and parcel of Krishna. And with that mood, the parent would start taking care of the child. Now, unfortunately, the parents, many of them, obviously exceptions will be there, nice parents would also be there, but now we are seeing that how selfish the parents are also becoming day by day. What are the parents doing? So they want to prove their status, and so the kids should learn, the kids should come first in the class. Yes. So they start comparing. Why this comparison is needed? Because, oh, no, she was telling that my child got this much marks. But my child didn't get it. So how will I boast myself, in front of others? In fact, when the youth boys, when by mercy of the Lord, when they decide that they want to join brahmachari ashram, they want to become a monk. Many people I have heard. You know what parents say? The parents would say that, see, I have no problem with you doing this, but what will people say? Will happen to our image, and so on and so forth. So nowadays, parents are more of what will happen to my image, what will happen to my status, and thinking about that, they are actually taking care of the child. But a devotee would think and understand and see that how the child is part and parcel of Krishna, and now it's my duty as a parent to take care of Krishna's part and parcel, as told by Krishna. And then what the parent would do? The parent would help the child to advance in bhakti. In fact, I know some parents who are like, the child is practicing bhakti, but they are like, no, what would society say? What would my friends say? What will I tell them? That you're doing this. This is out of fashion. Don't do all this. Go for a movie. Go, have a girlfriend. Have some alcohol. Unfortunately, this is how dirty parents have become. Many of them. So the thing is, when we see Krishna, when we see our child as part and parcel of Krishna, we'll be able to nurture the child, protect the child, and help the child to grow in bhakti. And that is what is very much needed. And when we are doing that, now automatically that becomes devotional service. Because Krishna, we are seeing it as part and parcel of Krishna. And for Krishna's pleasure, we're taking care of the child. Automatically it becomes devotional service. So it starts from the root. And what is the root? The parents have to become good devotees. This is very, very important. Because the contamination which is there in our heart will not allow us to do devotional service and will not give us that vision only, what to talk about anything else. We'll not get the perspective at all that, oh, okay, my child is Krishna's part and parcel. Very rare. That will be very rare. So, in this way, when we become intense in our devotional service, when our heart will get cleansed, we will be able to see, we'll get a different perspective. And with that different perspective, every activity, not just taking care of the child, every single activity in the home will become devotional service. And that is called as becoming fully Krishna conscious, which Prabhupada talks in various purports. So, hope this answers your question. We have to become intense in our devotional service. Okay, so there is a private message. I'm interested in bhakti, but my father once attended your session and he didn't like and he criticized you and said that Hare Krishna Mahamantra is not authentic. Although I know that why chanting is important, but I am so foolish my mind will continuously think of my father's words. I'm not able to concentrate on my devotional service. Although I hide and do bhakti, but then too I will fear from my father. What if he will see me? I'm very much upset. So, and you're still in your teens. You just entered your teens. What to do? That's what I just talked about. There are parents like this. What to do? Because more than understanding the essence, which we are giving, they are more interested to cross-check with their false ego, with their sense of pride that yes, I also know something. Many people like that. And there are people just by attending one session, they want to just conclude that yes, this is what is the philosophy, that is what is the mantra, this is what is this is what is that, this is all bogus. They don't want to dive deep and see what it is. So, as I always say, Krishna Bhakta Bada Chatur. Krishna's devotees are very intelligent. So, intelligent people know very well how to deal with the situation. See, we cannot give a bhakti, be it anyone, be it father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, whatever they say, we cannot give a bhakti. Who are they to tell us? Will they take us back home back to God? When I'm dying, when I'm on the deathbed, will my parents come to take me? Is there anyone, any parent having that power to tell Yamaraj that no, don't take my child, he's my child, I will protect? Parents cannot do anything. They cannot do anything when the child is on the deathbed. Are what to talk about the child? They themselves cannot save themselves. So, see, we need to understand that we need to be obedient to our parents. We have to listen to what they're saying. But when it comes to Krishna consciousness, when we are convinced about Krishna consciousness, it's very important to practice Krishna consciousness, not listen to what any person is talking about. This is bad, that is bad, etc. Whatever. That person is unfortunate. He's not getting the faith, in bhakti. But we are fortunate because we have got faith in bhakti. We have got faith in Krishna. Forget about everyone else. We have to be intelligent enough. I'm telling you again, we have to be intelligent enough, to practice bhakti. Since it's a public forum, I'm not talking about my experiences in my initial days of Krishna consciousness. Maybe someday when there is no YouTube live, I can share. Or personally, when we meet, I can share that how when I started practicing bhakti, I also faced some similar problems because my parents were a bit skeptical about what this person is doing. But then, by Krishna's mercy, he gave some intelligence to deal with those situations, and we could practice and continue practicing bhakti right from our college days. It was possible. So yes, so I would pray to Krishna that he gives you right intelligence at the right time, and the right words come, from your mouth at the right time, and you do the right activity at the right time, when with the proper consciousness, and that is also very important. And at the same time, please your parents because because they are the ones who are taking care of us. But when it comes to bhakti, let them speak whatever they want, but we're just going to hear from this ear and leave it from this ear. No question of taking that to the heart. They are illiterate when it comes to bhakti. Simple. We have read the Shastra, we know what it is. And this confidence should be there. And that confidence will come on when we are practicing bhakti every day. When we're reading Shastra, when we're reading Bhagavad-Gita, when we're hearing Krishna Katha, or the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, we'll get that confidence that yes, what I am doing is correct. And when that confidence comes, then no one can shake us. No one in this world can shake us, including the so-called parents. So hope this helps you. Okay. I'm also very happy to be here. Okay, what is Anu Gita by Krishna? Why there is no reference to Bhakti Yoga? What is fate? No, what is Anu Gita? I don't know what is Anu Gita. Please elaborate your question. One of the offenses to be avoided is to not to cry in front of the Lord. Yes, is that we should not cry for spiritual desires also? No. When it comes to crying in front of the Lord, we should cry to attain the Lord. I want you, O Lord, I want you. I want to practice bhakti. The tears should flow and we should cry in front of the Lord. But we shouldn't cry for material things. No one. I think I told in some of the session. One boy came to our temple and then he met me. And this was in front of the altar. And then he started crying. And he started saying, that girl left me. I was feeling like slapping him on slapping his face. What nonsense this is. So material problems, we cannot cry in front of the Lord. Now saying, oh, this happened to me, that happened to me. Only one reason we should cry for. Like a small child. Have you seen a small child? All the mothers here, you might have experienced this. When the child is very small and he starts recognizing the mother. And when the child is not able to see the mother around early in the morning, the only thing that the child does is cry. Where are you, Ma? Where are you? Same thing, same mood should be there to a devotee. That a devotee should be concerned only with one thing. When will I attain Krishna? When will I attain Krishna? Oh, Krishna, where are you? Oh, why I'm not able to practice bhakti? Why am I so fallen and dirty and contaminated within? When will my heart get cleansed? Will that day come ever? Oh, Krishna, will that day come ever when I'll be able to see you face to face? Oh, Krishna, will that day come ever when I'm chanting your holy names? I'm feeling that ecstasy of associating with you directly. Oh, Krishna, will I get that opportunity, to render service at your lotus feet? Oh, Krishna, when these days will come? Look at my situation, oh Lord, look at my situation. I'm just struggling in this material world. I hear something good about you, your philosophy, from your lotus mouth, and after some time, I just forget. Look at my situation. I'm not able to practice bhakti. Now, little rounds I'm doing chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra 108 times, and in that 108 beads, 110 times, oh, I should say 1008 times, my mind goes here and there. I'm not able to focus on your mantra. I'm not able to focus on your holy name. Saying this, tears should flow from the eyes, and the person should cry. Yes. It is said that Jo roya, wo Bhagwan ko paya. This is a statement which I heard from a very senior devotee. Jo roya, wo Bhagwan ko paya. So yes, we have to cry, but not for material things. Only for Krishna. Only for practicing bhakti. Only for this, we have to cry. And what is the need of crying for anything of this material world? Anyways, we know everything is temporary. Why to cry? You remember I told you one example? One boy was crying for chips, and then the chips was given to him. And then while eating the chips also he was crying, and the people asked what happened. The child is like, the chips are getting finished. It's a known fact. If you keep eating, it will get finished, it will get over. Similarly, in this world, everything is temporary. Everything, including this body. Everything. And one or the other day it is going to leave us. So why to cry for something which is known? Let's cry for something, which is permanent and which will give us the eternal bliss and eternal destination. Let's cry for that. And when we start crying for that, all the cries of this world will stop completely. And anytime when we see others crying for small things of this material world, we'll feel like, what nonsense. Human life is so rare. We have to attain Krishna. Why this person is crying for small things? That will be the perspective that we'll get. Right. So yes, we can cry, but only for Krishna. To attain Krishna, to practice bhakti very nicely. Not for our material things when we come in front of the Lord. Hope this is clear. And our crying should be in private, not in public. It shouldn't be like 100 people are there and we go in front of the altar and we start crying, oh Krishna, this happened, oh that happened, I'm not able to practice bhakti, I'm not able to chant. That is a show. That's just a show. When we are in the four walls, doors are locked, and when we are holding the beads and when we cry, that is the real cry. And after crying, also, we don't come out and tell and put the status on WhatsApp and Facebook saying, today I cried for Krishna. A private cry for a very, very intimate personality, Lord Sri Krishna, for attaining him this very lifetime. Yes, not for showing off to anyone. So all this has to happen in a private room where we are alone, not in public. Hope this helps you. One suggestion for good audio during the session, use Bluetooth in earphones. Oh, okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes. Praise in public, chastise in private. Okay, if ISKCON is non-profitable organization, then what is the need of Govinda Restaurant and Bhaktivedanta Hospital? So Govinda Restaurant is a very important source of income for the temples in Western countries, Govindas. Because in Western countries, hardly people come to the temple. Now, one of my student is there in which place that is? I forgot the name. In US somewhere. So he tells that hardly people come, and their maximum crowd is like 10, 20. In fact, I myself gave some Zoom session to some foreign congregation from US. So the attendance was 10 people, 20 people, and things like that, because the size of the congregation is that small. To run the temple, especially a ISKCON temple, where there Radha Krishna Murti, Radha Krishna Archa Vigraha, it's very difficult because it's very clear by our Acharya Srila Prabhupada that highest standards should be followed. And that is the reason this devotees, they serve prasadam and they accept some donation, some Lakshmi, to take care of the temple very nicely. So Govinda's restaurant is very, very important in uh, Western countries. And in India, Govinda's restaurant is very important for the devotees, because when the devotees start practicing bhakti, they don't want to eat anything and everything. They just want to eat uh, food that is offered to Krishna. And when the kids would say that, Papa, take me to a restaurant, well, will they take? So there should be some place where the devotees can go. And this is that place, Govinda's restaurant or Srinathji's restaurant. All these are restaurants where nice prasadam is, nice bhoga is cooked, it is offered to Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, and then it is distributed. That is given as prasad. And most of the these places, devotees are the ones who cook, and they are the ones who serve also. Most of the places. So this Govinda's restaurant is very important. It becomes a source of income, and more importantly, in India, it is the source of, or it is a place where the devotees can go and have prasadam, whatever prasadam they like. Like even I used to go to Govinda's when I was back in Mumbai, because I would like sizzlers before coming to Krishna consciousness. And then after coming to Krishna consciousness, and I was not interested to go and eat in restaurants. But then I got to know it's there, in this place. Let me go and have. So, and it's prasadam. So that was very wonderful. So that's Govinda's. When it comes to Bhaktivedanta Hospital, it is just like any other hospital. There is no money that will come to ISKCON. Yes. So in fact, that hospital itself is a temple. It's there in Mumbai. I guess if I'm not wrong, you're from Mumbai. So if you go to Bhaktivedanta Hospital, you will see big deities of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, and there Mangalarti happens. And I've heard that early in the morning, the people who come with the patients, they all are woken up, early in the morning. And in that temple, in that hospital, anyone goes, in the canteen, it's prasadam, kirtan is played, Prabhupada's deity is there. So, it's like a temple. So when it comes to ISKCON, yes, ISKCON is a non-profitable organization, and ISKCON runs by donations. ISKCON runs by book distribution. In foreign, ISKCON runs by the restaurants, which are there because of lack of people coming and giving donations. And Bhaktivedanta Hospital is, another temple-like structure, which is a hospital as well, where people get both spiritual nourishment and physical nourishment. Hope this helps you to understand more about ISKCON. If I have mood or no, I chant every day at least before go to sleep. I chant 3 rounds. Very happy, Mataji. Very happy. Please continue. Will you ever come to Kolkata, ISKCON or Mayapur? If you come, I want to visit. Yes, we will come to Mayapur. We'll keep you informed. Last year we came to Mayapur, for the yatra. This year in September, I guess we're planning to go to Jagannath Puri. So from our ISKCON Whitefield, around 100 people, we travel once in a year to Dham. So we went to Vrindavan. Then after that, we went to Mayapur. Then it was a lockdown, so we couldn't go anywhere. Now this year we're planning to go to Jagannath Puri if this COVID thing subsides, till that point. Why nobody knows from where Krishna is there? You mean to say where Krishna has come from? So I'm not sure about your question. Please, you can maybe repost again. Being consistent in chanting is important because I chant 2 rounds some days and mostly 8 rounds. Is it okay, or should I maintain the same number every single day? So Prithvi Prabhu, your question is nice. So we have to slowly come to 16 rounds in our sadhana. It's up to you now how much time you'll take. So I have personally told from my side that all of you should chant 4 rounds minimum. There's no no concession, not less than 4. So that's what is recommended, that all of you should chant 4 rounds. But then chanting more rounds when we have time, no problem, because doing more in bhakti, it's always good. There is no what to say side effects about that, negative side effects. It's always positive. So yes, whenever we have time, we can chant more, especially on Ekadashis. I would recommend all of you all that even if you're doing 4 rounds every day on Ekadashi, please chant 16 rounds. Yes. Next Ekadashi, let me tell you when is next Ekadashi. Next Ekadashi is on 25th of this month, 25th March. I request all of you all to make sure that you chant 16 rounds, and I'll try to circulate a form on that day, and then you can put your name and tell if you fasted or not and how many rounds you chanted. Like that, at least I'll also get to know. And the ones who are already chanting 16, we can chant more than that, 25, 32. So Ekadashi, we have to chant more, and whenever we have time, festivals, we have to chant more. Yes. But 4 rounds is what I recommend. Prithvi, I want you also to chant 4 rounds every day. So no 2 rounds. When we are spirit soul close to Krishna, what exactly happens so that we become rebellious and thrown onto earth? Why did we start desiring material world being so close to Krishna? This is a $1 million question, Sachin, which we'll be able to understand only when we go back to Krishna. Because it's very difficult to understand how in a spiritual realm a person gets a material desire. Very difficult. So Prabhupada writes in the purports that somehow or the other we have come to this material world. Prabhupada does not describe about this particular case, how we came to this material world. A lot of debates are there on this, lot of in the speculation is there. And a lot of people want to give their lot of opinions on this, but nothing will work. Only when we go back to Krishna, we will understand, because at that time we'll be completely in knowledge. At that time we can understand about why, what happened, and why we came to this material world. So till then, I always tell this to my students, that when a person gets malaria, he doesn't go searching for mosquito, which mosquito bit me. Instead, he takes medicine. Similarly, instead of literally going deep into the question of how did I come from there to here, the person should ask, how can I go back to that place? Now what am I supposed to do? So we can meditate on that, and once we go back to Krishna, anyways we'll understand why we came to this, why we were in the material world. Prasadam in Govinda restaurant is amazingly satisfying and delicious. Yes. It's prasadam, so it has to be. What is fate? Can we change our fate with hard work, puja, praying? Hey, come on, you're my student, Gita course student. How can you ask this question now? What is fate? Fate is karma. What else? Hmm. Our karma is deciding various things in our life. Obviously, there are some deeper aspects now about there are five doers or five entities which play a great role in our life, and one of them is our endeavor and our activities, and obviously karma is there, and Lord's sanction is also there. So many things are there in this. But then when it comes to us, when it comes to fate for a devotee, a devotee's mood is very clear that my fate is whatever my Lord will decide. That is the fate for a devotee. So that's what a devotee thinks. But then this changing our fate, a devotee doesn't desire that. A devotee is not interested. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is Prabhupada's guru's father is Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a great stalwart devotee. He says, Maro bhi rakho bhi jo ichha tuhar. And then he says that I'm your Nitya Das, the next line. I'm not remembering exactly what line that was. But Maro bhi rakho bhi jo ichha tuhar. Arpilo tua pade, Nanda Kishore. So, it's very, clear for a devotee that Maro bhi rakho bhi. You want to kill me, oh Krishna, kill me. I'm your property. You want to protect me, protect me. Then if Krishna is asking, then what will you do? I will do your bhakti. That's it. I'm not going to think about anything. Yes. So there's a prayer, which is there. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundari, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmani shware, bhavatad bhakti rahitu ketvai. So suppose the Lord is asking, Dhanam chahiye, dhanam. Do you want wealth? Devotee is like, no dhanam. No dhanam. I don't want dhanam. I don't want wealth. Then the Lord is asking, Janam, you want followers? Devotee is like, no Janam. I don't want. And for all the men, the Lord is asking, Sundarim, beautiful girl. You want a beautiful girl for marriage? And the person is like, no Sundarim. Then maybe Lord will think that, oh, this person looks very spiritual. Maybe I should give him liberation. And he's asking that liberation. Nay, I don't want. Mama Janmani Janmani. I'm ready to take birth after birth after birth. So Lord is asking, what do you want? And the devotee is saying, Ahituki Bhakti. Unmotivated Bhakti. Apratihata. Uninterrupted Bhakti. A devotee just desires that. A devotee is not interested to change the fate. No. Devotee's mood is that Krishna has planned something for me. His plan is best. He is my eternal father. He knows what is good and what is bad. Why should I worry in the presence of Hari? Why should I worry? Krishna has planned something for me. Just let me go by his plan. This is the mode of a devotee. So let's not change our fate. Let's not think about that. But one thing we have to ask is, can I change my consciousness? Can I change my heart? Can I transform my heart from a dirty heart to a pure heart? Can I do that? And the answer which I will give is yes, we can by practicing bhakti. Yes. So we should see this again. We should not allow our mind to think about that. How can I change my destination? How can I change my fate? And how can I advance in material life and things like that? Oh, anyways, that will happen. If Krishna wants, it will happen. But what will not happen is we advancing in bhakti. If we don't ask for it, it will not happen. Yes. So in this way, it's very important to understand that our mind shouldn't be absorbed in thinking of material things. We should always get absorbed in thinking, how can I progress in bhakti? Once we start progressing in bhakti, our heart will be satisfied. We will not need anything of this world. We'll be satisfied with whatever we have. Hope this answers your question. In coming time, I'm planning to visit Vrindavan. Kindly suggest. Please text me personally. I would help you. Ganga liked your explanation about kids crying for chips and how should we be crying for Krishna, like crying for mother. She also started searching for Govinda restaurant. Okay, Ganga is your daughter, if I'm not wrong. Yes. So thank you very much, for your questions. Let's remember all this, whatever we spoke today. Especially the last question was very nice. I could speak about dependence on Krishna. It's very, very important in our life. At least now, let's understand. We have got human form. We have got an opportunity to practice bhakti. Let's attain Krishna this very lifetime. Now, why we have to think about anything else now? And we have got greatest of the greatest treasure with us. We have got bhakti. This bhakti which is given to us, is very, very rare. People don't get it. Even demigods in the heaven, they pray. In Bhagavatam, there's a prayer saying that these people on the earthly planet, they are so fortunate because they are practicing bhakti. They're getting the opportunity to practice bhakti. And they're offering prayer that if any punya remains in my quota, please give me birth in the material, in the earthly planet, on the earthly planet. And we have got that. Now it's our turn. See, if we don't practice bhakti nicely, we'll miss it. We have already come to the very, very close to Krishna. And we are already there in the train to Goloka. The train has already started, and Prabhupada is the driver. He's taking the train, very fast towards Goloka. The mistake that we are doing is we want to peep out and see, and when we peep out, there'll be something which will attract us, and we might jump out of the train. We are in Goloka Express. Let's be there in the train, till the train reaches Goloka Vrindavan. Let's not get down. I mean, let's not slacken in the bhakti path. Every single day, intensely, we have to chant. Every single day with attentiveness, attentively hearing the Mahamantra. Reading Bhagavad-Gita, hearing Prabhupada lectures. Every single day, we are posting small clips of Prabhupada lectures. I request all of you all to make sure you hear that. Prabhupada is a pure devotee, and if Prabhupada's Vani we are hearing, we'll become pure, right? So there's a request to all of you that please practice bhakti very, very intensely, and let's get down from the train only when we see Krishna, that too in Goloka Vrindavan. Yes. So on this note, praying to Krishna for his empowerment, for his strength, so that we can practice bhakti and finally attain him this very lifetime, not taking any more chance. Let's pray to Krishna by chanting one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So all of you can switch on your videos and let's start chanting. Please repeat after me. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Yes, all of us together praying for the mercy of the Lord. Let's start chanting.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare.
All of us together chanting for the last time today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, thank you very much, all of you all, for joining today's session. So, let's meet the coming Sunday and let's discuss a very, very important topic, Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the hidden incarnation of Lord Krishna in the age of Kaliyuga. So, it's a very important session because we are following the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, so we should know who Lord Chaitanya is. And also, by all your prayers, I know I'm recovering. Still, recovery is happening. I think I did a lot of experiments in the lockdown, so with my body, about my sleep and food and other things. So all that has accumulated. And when the lockdown opened, my lockdown started. So I would thank all of you for your prayers, and I request you to continue, praying and continue. I heard that some of you are chanting extra rounds, and some of you are doing Tulsi Pradakshina for me and things like that. Please continue doing that. I need your prayers. And if you all pray, then surely I'll recover very, very fast. Doctor has told another 3 to 4 months with proper diet and proper medication, I'll be able to come back to normal energy and normal speech. Yes. So I request all of you all that please continue praying. And by your prayers, yes, I'll recover fast. Let's meet next Sunday. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare.